Hey y'all, welcome back. Well, I figured I better give you an update. I've been releasing some videos and I kind of probably need to go back and touch on the canopy. So I'm gonna show y'all my homemade canopy that I have took parts. It's kind of like my Frankenstein canopy. It's got parts from everything else, but I'm gonna walk you through it and show you everything and what I done and what I used. And hopefully maybe this idea will help you, because everybody knows a tractor without a canopy, you get burned up during the summer. So y'all stay tuned. Well, now, when I purchased my tractor, my great uncle, he told me, he said, don't buy a canopy. Don't buy a top for it. I've got one for you. I didn't go look at it. I said, yeah, okay, that'll work. I really appreciate it. And he said, I don't need it. I had it custom made years ago, and you're more than welcome to it. So I bought the L4701, and the only accessory, I had the wheels flipped, and I bought a bush hog with it. I didn't get anything else. It's the first new tractor I've ever bought. I've always had used tractors, Fords. I've had a 8N or a 2N, 8N, 4N, whatever, about the same. And then I was using my Uncle Chick's blue tractor, his Ford. And I used it for years till the family decided to park it and restore it. And that forced me into getting a tractor. Now, I don't own a farm. You'll notice that subcompact tractors and compact tractors have got a big following now. I do a lot of food plots for people. I do all our food plots. I maintain our fields and I clear our trails. This tractor is exactly what I needed. But I found out real quick. Now, and something else I want to point out is I get up close to the edge of fields and brush. So I have a lot of brush hit me and stuff. So I've been kind of leery about a canopy anyway and having it in the woods. And most of your factory canopies are fiberglass. You can get them aluminum, you can get them tread plates, you can get them, different ways. But I was kind of worried about busting it. So I thought, well, I'm gonna make my own or use the one that's been given to me. So I went and got this canopy, and it was actually custom built, I think, for a Ford. It had a red ROP system that goes down bolts to the axles like you would have on a Ford. And then the top was just regular galvanized metal. It was just it was galvanized metal. And when he took it off and got his new tractor, he just put this thing in the woods. Well, when he put it in the woods, it got rust, which you can barely see right here. It got rust all down through there and had some holes in it. Now, the downfall to using this was that I didn't have, it already had holes in it, and I didn't have the brackets to put on the side of the Kubota. So I'm gonna start where I got it. So when I got it, I brought it home, and I originally thought that it was aluminum until we drug it out of the woods. And I seen that it was rusted. So I took the ROPS off, ended up scrapping it. It wasn't no good for anything else. So I just had the top, and it had 12 holes in it. But there was one big problem with it, was you can see where that panel has been welded in. That was rusted all the way in two, where there was nothing between the bare metal and the metal frame that was below it. So it did rust. It wasn't aluminum, it ended up being galvanized. So I had some rust. So I ended up cleaning it real good. I ended up wire brushing the whole thing inside out, really checked the metal out. I run to Tractor Supply and got a couple pieces of metal, and I put them in on each side, and I welded it up. Of course, welding galvanized with MIG or anything, you get a lot of smoke. So it was pretty bad, but I was able to patch it up pretty good. It looked good. But that left me with 10 holes in it that I was either had to weld up and grind back down, or maybe just put bolts in. Well, long story short, this ended up setting over here against the wall for months. And just so happens my great uncle has a bigger Kubota, M5200, 5204 or something like that. It's an older tractor. And he was loading some wood, and some of it fell past the bucket, come down. He's lucky. It ended up, he didn't get hurt, but it busted his top. It got his steering wheel pretty bad, knocked his shifter plumb off, knocked his gauge panel out. Well, he just patched it up best he could, and we took off going down the road. Not long after it, the top blew off and just left the frame. Now, the frame was all warped. So as I was at his house picking up a fertilizer spreader here not long ago, I ended up noticing that he had another top he had got from somebody, and it was complete. So I asked him where his ROP system, the bottom part was, and he told me, and I worked out a deal with him where if I put his other one on, his tractor, his new one, could I have the old equipment? He said, yeah. Well, I wished I had done the video straightening it because all of it was bent up bad. The H brace that's underneath, if you have a Kubota or you put one of these on, it was destroyed. It was not usable. But the side pieces was bent, but not bad. So I straightened these side pieces. I straightened them with a sledgehammer, the two on both. I put them in an anvil, really worked them down, D8 them down, sand them, and I painted them gray. Well, I didn't know how I was going to connect it across, so I ended up doing it with 80/20, which is a aluminum T-slotted material. But before I get to that, I took and D8'd the whole thing down, and what I chose to do, I went to Tractor Supply, and I'll have to get up here on the bank to show you. I went and got Kubota paint, and I painted the top of this tractor, or the top of this canopy. As you can see, it's orange. From the side, you can't tell no difference. And it ended up turning out really good. It's got a little dust on it now, and it did get a buckle in it being galvanized where that I welded it. But that dried for a while, and I decided that I was going to get gray for underneath. And I thought that I had the Kubota color matched pretty good, but kind of find out it was off just a little, but you can't hardly tell. But I ended up painting the bottom. I actually etch and primed the whole thing, top and bottom, and ended up painting that gray. And that is all tractor paint that is used here from Tractor Supply. The colors turned out awesome. I love the way it looks. And one plus to this versus the fiberglass, if something hits this, it's going to dent. If a limb hits it, it's probably going to bounce off. If you have a fiberglass, it's going to have more of a chance of getting broke. So I'm really happy with having a metal top. But in building it, I knew I had to come up with something, and I wanted to add lights. And you always have to buy brackets or stuff for these, and people mount lights and they get knocked off. So I wanted something to be easy to put lights on. And I'm releasing videos soon with these night light backup lights. They're actually driving lights that Nightlight sent me to do a video on, and they're for a Jeep, but they're going to work out so perfect on this. So I chose to do the 80/20 aluminum T-slotted material. I got my T-nuts and my bolts. They're 5/16 18, and I have got these attached, and you'll see that in the next video. And the purpose for that is I'm going to run these two lights back here, but on this bar up here, I'm going to be running a mirror facing my way with a 2-gang switch and a voltmeter. And on the front, I'm running one of the low profile night light bars. That way it's low profile, limb won't catch it. I got 16 inches before it hits, it sticks out over the front there. So I'll be able to light up and everything is on there, and I can replace it if I need to. It's easy to hide the wires. Now, a lot of you probably think, well, how in the world did you attach that thing? Well, I actually went and bought stainless bolts and lock nuts and washers and neoprene rubber washers, and I filled every one of these little holes in with those and torqued them down. Then I bought stainless bolts I bought self-tapping stainless bolts that I think they're actually quarters or 5/16. They're big, and I put 4 in each side rail. So this side rail all the way down has 4. That side rail all the way down has 4. And then I thought I still needed it attached a little bit better. So I went there and got me some carriage bolts because they fit the T-slot so good. And I drilled through and run 4 carriage bolts through with a washer, a neoprene washer, and a washer, and a lock nut on top. So there is a lot of stuff sticking out the top. I'll show you right here. But it's sealed up. I've done had it in the rain once. So as you can see, there's the self-tappers with the washers. And you see my 4 sticking up. Oh, I actually put 5. There's 5 down the rail. So this thing is rock solid. And if it hadn't been for working the trade out, I would have probably made my own brackets, but they wouldn't looked as good. So the last part, I don't think it would have looked as good if I'd have built a set. It might have been close, but I like having these side pieces. But then the question come up about U-bolts. What am I going to use? Well, kind of find out, back at Tractor Supply again, these are leaf spring bolts. They're 3 inches from center to center, and they're already the right length. They're already the right thread count. Comes with the washers and the lock nuts, or it might be a castle nut. Actually, it's a lock nut and a castle nut. So it's got the plastic insert and then the spreaders on the outside. So put them in, it worked perfect. But this thing is gonna knock the sun off of me. It's gonna hold my accessories firm. If I hit a limb in the woods, it's gonna be protected. And all in all, I think it turned out really good for a Frankenstein canopy. I mean, that almost looks factory. So I hope this video helps somebody. Don't be afraid to try something. Come up with ideas, think outside the box. That's how I get a lot of stuff done. I do like to detail a lot of things that I do. But on this worked out so good for the purposes of lights, mirrors, switches, that 80/20 slotted aluminum is going to be perfect for the accessories I need to add. And some of you might be saying, why do you need a light bar? Well, actually I don't, but I like accessories, and that light bar was affordable. I bought it, it's slim, and it's gonna look killer on there. And then, but one thing that people will agree with me on, if you've got a tractor with a bucket loader, with a front end loader, even though I've changed those headlights over to LED, when I'm driving this tractor at night, that bucket still gets on my way. And I have added a lot of accessories to the front of this, such as the 511 stuff that has been huge on protecting my tractor. But the downfall is it kind of takes some of my light away out in front of me. So that light bar helped me in the field, and everybody will agree that's had a tractor with an implement behind them. If they get caught in the field at night and you need to back up, you can't see nothing behind these tractors. So those lights will help. So like I said, you can do stuff like this. Just put your head to it. Think outside the box. This is a Frankenstein canopy. It turned out looking better than the factory, in my opinion, and it should last me many, many years. I mean, hopefully I don't do anything with it that's going to tear it up or knock it off. But anyway, I hope this helps somebody. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe and like. I had released a video here not long ago about doing an automotive and tractor channel versus just Pine Life, and I was overwhelmed at the people that wanted to leave it on one channel. No matter what you're here for, there's playlists made for you. There's playlists for hunting. There's playlists for trapping, tractors, side-by-side, lights, my bucks I've killed, deer hunting, Kim's bucks are going to be all new playlists before deer season this year. So if you don't like what you see or you're not interested, just scroll on or stop by and check us out. If you do, like something, please drop us a like and comment. So what I'd like you to do is comment in this video what you think about my canopy. I'm sure I'm going to get some negativity about it, but I think it's freaking awesome. And I think a lot of people's going to think it's awesome too. When I get this thing rigged out in the next 3 videos, y'all are going to be shocked. So when you can think it in your head and put it to work and make it happen, that's what happened here. So if you like what we're doing, please subscribe and like. And as always, God bless. We'll see you on the next video. Deer season is coming. See you.